Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking another look here at OGN, see what's going on with the Origin protocol. And I got a lot of requests, of course. I can totally see why. And this is one kind of probably going to keep a closer eye on here moving forward because it definitely looks like it wants to take off. And we'll find out more about that soon. Now, if you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, I just love teaching people how to trade. I hope you can learn something here today. And if so, comment below, like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. But once again, CryptoCache.tech if you want to become a better trader. I got a trading academy, community, and signal group. Taking a look here at OGN though, here's kind of the big picture. We're still maintaining this ascending pattern, albeit the price did break down a couple of days below. We're still maintaining this price point. In other words, making higher lows, for lack of better terms, on the larger time frames. And obviously on the smaller time frame too, we can see higher lows as well. We'll look at that as well. But in this sense here, the main thing that I want to kind of point out is that this ascending type of pattern that we're seeing here is concurrent with the 50-day sub-moving average. So a lot of times you see this type of trend occurring with a 50 and a ascending trend line making higher lows is essentially concurrent with one another. It's a very good sign. We'd like to see that, and that's something I like to kind of point out here. So just big picture, that's where we're at, but keep this in mind too. We have potential resistance here right around 64, 65 cents, maybe even just say 62, the key Fibonacci retracement line. Kind of just telling us that we could experience a little bit more resistance, or the price could continue to test and effectively break out. There's a very strong chance of that, just based on the fact that it's consistently trying to break through this level and hasn't yet. Looking at the RSI, we're back up over 50 on the RSI too, which is good. We kind of passed this key level resistance about 57 cents, and that is extremely important. It's now essentially a potential support level, and we can likely be able to use that as a bounce moving forward. Now I say potential support because this one-day candlestick hasn't officially closed yet, so it is tentative for the moment, but the likelihood of closing that much, with this increased volume from yesterday, is definitely higher. So the likelihood here of a close or a bounce off 57 is pretty high. We also have a MACD convergence here as well, kind of just letting us know the overall momentum for OGN has shifted bullishly, and we should experience a push to the upside. So again, good stuff there in that sense. The macro is kind of telling us we're in great shape. We're also good on the 4-hour here as well, where we've got both moving averages below the price action for the moment, and that's a very, very good sign. We are also a bit overextended on the 4-hour RSI, which to me usually spells turnaround or just more so consolidation, because if you see here previously, we hit 70 here, pretty much hit 70 there, and both times we got rejected and turned around. Not to say that it won't this time, but we need to accumulate volume at this price point first before it can break to the upside. Okay, so hypothetically, what we'd want to see is some type of pendant pattern here and then a break upwards, kind of just working itself in and then go up. That's essentially what we're looking for. But, minus the overextension on the 4-hour, we're still looking pretty darn good. Very healthy in that sense. I do think if we were to come back down, we'll probably get a bounce off of this range here based on this being a previous resistance and, of course, establishing itself as a new support. And then obviously we got this key level Fibonacci retracement line too, holding the price in place. Yeah, so again, all good stuff there. And you can kind of see how it slowly broke above or tried to break above a few times, and now it did officially. So what that tells us is that the bears kind of gave up and stopped trying to sell at that point. They got exhausted and they couldn't do anything longer. So selling pressure subsided, buying pressure increased. We should experience the price to go sideways from here. Moving on to the 1-hour, see if we can kind of take a look here. Obviously we're well above the cloud, but you can see how it kind of broke above the cloud and rode it and then took off. So it's kind of nice to kind of establish that as a support level. And once again, there's two leads. There's the upper and lower, and you want to be above both for a bullish type of sentiment, or below both for bearish, if that makes sense. But for now, obviously the price bounced off and held up pretty good, looking great there. We want to take a look at daily sequential here. I think we're a bit on the overexhausted side here. You can see we started here, of course, 1 all the way up to a 7 to a 9 essentially. And overall big picture, the likelihood of it pushing harder from here is lower, but you can see it's trying already. I mean, this 1-hour candle's barely started. We're only halfway into it, and you can see it's testing that resistance level there. So just know 62 cents, roughly 63 cents, if you round up a little bit, is going to be somewhat of a resistance level, but it could very well break. It looks like it has momentum and is trying really hard to push through there. Just bear in mind, if we were to break through that here soon, we'd want to come back down and consolidate there at that point, if all goes well. But generally speaking, based on what I see here so far, the likelihood of a continuation of the upside is much greater. then a sell-off to the downside. Okay, even though we're coming into this resistance zone, it's tested it multiple times in the past and is probably likely ready to break through. It's just that we're a bit on the overextended side on the 4-hour for the RSI, kind of pushing a little too hard, too fast. And in that sense, we want it to calm down and go sideways for a little bit and then leg up again. If it continues to push up higher, just expect something along the lines of this here, where the price will possibly wick up to just say 70 cents, but it'll probably come back down and relax and close at 62 or 63, right? So just something to kind of think about, but generally speaking, I think this is, if it doesn't break through today, it should break through in the relative near future. Origin looks like it wants to take off. Big picture too, also keep in mind, tremendous potential here from OGN, a lot of potential to the upside, of course. I wouldn't expect a parabolic run, but I would expect the price to kind of likely test $1 sometime later this year, if not within the next couple months. So I think it's trending towards it. This would be an excellent swing trade, and I recommend considering getting on board here because it does look like it wants to continue to progress higher. Bear in mind, a correction from Bitcoin could result in a correction from OGN. So heaven forbid Bitcoin wants to come down to 39 or 38. We could see a price point in between 50 and 60 cents. But generally speaking, I don't think we should experience a tremendous sell-off from OGN. It's showing a lot more volume in this area, but also a lot of consistency. And I do think that it's ready to break out. Obviously, it already has, if you check my video from here recent, but generally speaking, we're looking pretty good there. All right, anyways, hopefully that makes sense to you and I explained that correctly. I hope you learned something here today, of course. If you want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is the site. Link in the description below. I have a Signal group, trading academy, and community. I hope you can learn and grow together with us. There's over about 300 members so far at this point. Really awesome experience. Thanks again to my current community members as well as my supporters on YouTube, everything, the whole 9 yards. I greatly appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.